I welcome you all to this wonderful session where we've got this wonderful question falling under coronary heart disease, which is commonly known as the CHD. We get to call it that. Then the question is saying, the first question they are telling us to say, explain the causes of the CHD. And here they are telling us to say, discuss how CHD can be prevented. When I say CHD, I'm meaning coronary heart disease. Discuss the functions of lymph nodes in disease prevention. These are wonderful questions. So if these questions come in an exam, you know that you are supposed to answer them in an essay format or in paragraphs. So me, I'll just be giving you points that you need to be, I'll be explaining them, but in an exam, you are just supposed to write in an essay format. Me, I'll just be giving you points, and it's you to join them to come up with a nice paragraph. So we are talking about the causes of coronary heart disease. 8 marks. So which means that you are supposed to give 4 points. You explain them clearly. So first of all, you need to understand that these coronary heart diseases, this is a condition that is categorized, or that is characterized by blockage of the coronary arteries. These coronary arteries get to supply blood to the muscle, to the heart muscle. So you discover that when this happens, it gets to, when this blockage occurs, you discover that there are certain heart failures, heart attack, and some chest pains that get to be experienced by this blockage. So these are what we get to call coronary heart disease. So what are the causes? The causes here that we need to list: one, there is what we call high blood pressure. High what? High blood pressure. So we can also consider high blood pressure. Then you explain this one. You list a point, so you say, okay, the first one, we are calling it what? High blood pressure. You explain this high blood pressure is also known as hypertension. So you know that, okay, this high blood pressure, it is also known as hypertension. So you now explain what hypertension is. So you discover that whenever the overload on the heart increases, they can cause damage to the what? To the arteries. So hypertension increases the work overload on the heart, hence damaging these arteries. And once these arteries are damaged, they get to cause some chest pains, heart attack, heart failure. This is the first point. The second point that we can also consider, we can talk of smoking. So these are causes. Smoking, you explain how does smoking cause this coronary heart attack. You tell them, okay, when you discover that this gets to damage blood vessels, they get to reduce oxygen in the blood and increases the risk of some plaque buildup. So you discover that when you smoke, you get to reduce on what? You get to reduce on oxygen in the blood. This is oxygen in the what? In the blood. There is a reduction in the amount of oxygen in the blood. You also discover that we can also look at lack of exercises. Lack of what? Lack of exercises can also cause this CHD. So lack of exercises. How does lack of exercises affect this? You discover that physical inactivity can contribute to obesity and other risk factors. So you need to make sure that you are doing some exercises from time to time. And this is very important. Exercises are very important. If you are not doing exercises, you need to make sure that you start. I'm just giving you points in an exam. You need to come up with a nice paragraph. You also need to know that aside these three that I've listed here, you need also to understand that age can also cause that. So age can also cause this. So risk increases with age. In men, you discover that over 45 years, and in women it is over 55 years, where people can start experiencing this blockage in the coronary arteries. Aside this age, so I've told you that in men it is over 45, but in women you discover that it is over 55 years above. So this is how age can relate to these diseases. There are a lot of things that get to cause this. You also discover that there is what we call a chronic inflammation in the body that can also contribute. So I'm talking about what? Inflammation. So this is, it can also cause that. So this is inflammation. How can inflammation now cause these diseases? You discover that whenever we've got development of certain things that get to form in our bodies, that is what inflammation can also cause. So there are a lot of things. There is stress. You discover that stress can also cause these things. There are quite a lot. So you just explain them in an exam. Stress. You say, okay, how does stress affect, how does stress cause CHD? You discover that there are those what we get to call chronic stress that can contribute to heart disease by leading to unhealthy habits or directly affecting the heart. So you need to make sure that you reduce on stress. Emotional stress can cause all these things. So you need to make sure that you reduce on that. Let us now move on to the next question. We now move on to the next question. So I guess you are writing down these points that so these points, you need to make sure that you connect them, you explain them so well in an exam. Let us now go to the next question. That question is just carrying 2 marks. They are just telling you to say, discuss how coronary heart disease can be prevented. So we are now on A2. How can we prevent those ones? So you discover that we can prevent that by eating. So you need to make sure that you are eating a what? A balanced diet. So a balanced diet. You need to make sure that you are eating a balanced diet. You explain that they are telling you to say discuss. So you just explain by eating a balanced diet, focus on fruits, vegetables, some whole grains, and some proteins. So you need to limit saturated fats. So those fats, you need to make sure that you avoid certain fats. So this is what you are supposed to understand. You can also give there are quite a lot. So you also need to make sure that you can prevent this by doing some, let me say, by doing some regular physical activities. Regular what? Regular physical activities. Regular physical activities. So by doing regular physical activities, you can prevent those diseases that get to affect the heart. So you discover that you need to be doing some aim for at least 150 minutes of some aerobic activities. So you learn some, you do some, you do those exercises once in a week or 2 days in a week. It is very important. I also do that. You also need to make sure that you quit smoking. So smoking can also cause that. So you need to make sure that you do what? You quit smoking. This is what you need to understand. So you need to make sure that you quit smoking. We now move on to the last question. we now move on to that last question. The last question is saying, describe the functions of lymph nodes in disease prevention. So this one, it's a simple question. You discover that these lymph nodes these lymph nodes, they get to play a crucial role in the immune system, and they are essential for disease prevention. You discover that their major function of this is what we get to call filtering. So filtering what? Lymphatic. So lymphatic fluid like this. So this is the most function, the major function that you need to understand. So you discover that lymph nodes act as filters for lymphatic fluid, which carries immune cells and waste products. So they get to do what? So if you've forgotten this, you can just put up this statement where you just say these ones, they do what? They get to trap. So I'll say they trap pathogens. They get to trap what? Pathogens such as bacteria. So they trap such as what? Such as bacteria and viruses, preventing them from spreading throughout the body. So this is the function of those. So if I tell you what is the function of the lymph nodes in disease prevention, the function is to trap pathogens. So they do what? They trap. These ones get to trap what? Trap pathogens. So they get to trap pathogens. So once they trap those pathogens such as bacteria and viruses. So once they trap them, they are now going to prevent them from spreading throughout the body. So this is what you have to understand. So that the last point you just say, to trap bacteria and bacteria and viruses, preventing them from spreading throughout the body. So this is the whole question. This is what I add for you. So don't forget, this is your brother and your friend, Harrison J. Zulu. I get to conduct tuitions in biology and other subjects such as mathematics, chemistry, physics. So if you want to be helped at an affordable fee, this video is public. It's a public video. So if you want to be helped, this is my WhatsApp number. You can drop a text on WhatsApp. And don't forget, I do have a Facebook page. You can also follow me on Facebook. I want you family to follow me on Facebook. You get to see all the updates that we get to do. So I've got a Facebook page by this name, Harrison J. Zulu Tutor. So you can also follow me on my Facebook page. You can follow me on my Facebook page. I guess you've learned one or two things. So this is everything you need to understand on these diseases. So this lesson was just all about the coronary heart disease, the causes, prevention, and the function of the lymph nodes. So I guess you've learned one or two things. Don't forget to share this video. It's a public video. So if you want to be helped online, there are certain lessons we get to do which I don't share. So this one, I guess you've learned one or two things. Thank you so much. So for tuitions, don't forget to drop a text on WhatsApp on 0971 066747. Thank you for watching.